Our next presenter is Cynthia Thompson. And her friend Jerry describes Cindy as the original wild child, which is, I think is an interesting thing for a friend to say. She really seeks to transform her world. And another one of her friends said, she tickles herself. She's a mother. She has a mother's ferociousness and an all-consuming love that keeps her up night worrying about her own daughter and the welfare of all sons and daughters throughout the world. She makes God proud. I've known Cynthia's work for a while, and I think what she's doing has been amazing in the way she's sort of doing these amazing shapes, and I look forward to hearing what she's presenting tonight.
Thank you. Am I supposed to ring this?
Yeah,
okay. Maybe I'm ready to go. Do you think so? Here we go. So I started out in grad school, and I was a metalsmith, and here you have performance art, which I really got into. And it changed my way of thinking. I got into fabric, and I made environments with my friend. We performed up and down the East Coast for like 3 years, called ourselves Pink Ink. And I really learned how to do fabric structures by doing the performance inside them. Here you have I'm going to show you a lot of different fabric installations. This is at Husson College, Husson University, and this is in the Gracie Theater. This is all kinds of forms that have no metal in them. They're all overlapped. This is a long time ago in the museum in Portland, where there's still the hooks in the side of the building where I installed this piece. This is all done with no metal at all, completely tension fabric, and you can see how old it is because my daughter's in the bottom and now she's 21. So this is a kaleidoscope effect in an office in New York City at Hasbro, and that's when I started to put metal into the structures and start to overlap them. You depend on a lot of light play when you do the fabric structures. And here we have the museum in North Carolina, an art museum that was new a couple of years ago, and we put in all the light diffusers in the ceiling so it diffused the light on the art, and each piece of fabric was a different piece of fabric doing different kinds of light diffusion. And now we have Portland again. I put a lot of Portland slides in. This is the visitor center last summer, and we put up a lot of flowers and it was really great because when we put them up, people watched us put them up, and one person said, "This has really made my trip to Portland to watch you put it up." Whoops, I'm not up here. Sorry. I guess I goofed that up. Anyway, this is a hotel in New York City, and this is very, very simple fabric shapes, and they all come down and change the ambiance at cocktail hour. Very, very simple way. This is one of the biggest projects that we've done at Transform It, which is my studio. It's a 30-foot high head. It's a theater, and you enter into the neck, and you go inside the theater, and you learn how to be healthy. And it's a children's health space. So they ask them, does a cigarette hurt you the first time? And then the head talks to them and says no, yes, or maybe. This is in Maine again. It's a health place for women. And this is a very simple thing that you can do with fabric. We can print on fabric now, and it's absolutely beautiful. This is an AIA show in Los Angeles, and this is one of the conference areas. You can see that there's a huge print on a very sculptural wall. It was a print of the LA freeway done by a famous photographer, and this was like the centerpiece for the AIA part of the show. Also, you can do all kinds of rooms with fabric structures, and this shows you the beautiful print that you can do. You can take pictures, you can print on the fabric and create all these illusions with different layers of fabric and light. I think that one of the people that came over and interviewed me to do this, she says, "I didn't realize that you did environments with light." And I'm going like, wow, that's what it is, fabric, light, and environments. This is another print that was on a piece for an exhibit in Chicago at the Field Museum. So the fabric structures can be everywhere. And this was in an office for AutoZone, and AutoZone, you can see the street that was printed down through the fabric, and it intersects the other fabric. So you have a completely different environment. And so we put these up all over the world. This is in Mexico City, and this is a project for a TV station in Mexico City. And this is where projection is on the fabric. This is not printed. So they do all kinds of different projections on this. Also, along the way, my fabric has gotten to be technical art. And inside each one of these panels is an acoustic fabric. And there's 750 panels all set in a row. And you can do curves with this acoustic fabric. So here you can do artistic things and have technical aspects to them. This is the Woodstock Museum in Bethel. It's the Bethel Woods Museum in New York, and it's all about the Woodstock area. And there is actually, where the Volkswagen Beetle is, there's a big acoustic panel that they projected on. This is a way of doing art in architecture, where you have this really nice, fabulous piece of art in the ceiling that goes from the entranceway all the way through the building, and then it meanders, and it's on top of a conference area. So that's the way you can use art in architecture. This is let's see. This is in an LA architect's office, and this is their ceiling to their conference area. So you walk in the door, and you see this really big statement in their ceiling, and they can control the lights that are in a cabinet. This is one way you can do different kinds of structure, where you can see all the curves and everything. That's all bent metal. And then there's light that shines from the back, and so you have what we call shadow graphing. And this is in the Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. And now we come to the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. I never thought I'd be in a stadium, but we did the VIP areas. And of course, we did very large football kinds of lights that are 30 feet long, and they're lit with fluorescent lights. And thank you.
Indeed, thank you. You know, I'm always amazed at the people who live in this state and are part of our community and do these amazing things all over the world. And I think that Cindy's work is just great. And I think just give her another round of applause, please.